What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So, I want to come through and talk about something that happened extremely recently, and it's very you disturbing, and that is the alleged altercation that happened between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. So, right now, it's alleged, all right, this is alleged that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. And no one has come right out and said whether he did or didn't. It's a lot of conflicting reports as well. Megan saying that she stepped on glass. I guess we'll see when they do like the medical checkup. I'm pretty sure we can tell the difference between a cut of glass and a gunshot as well. I think her friends may be saying a different story as well. Tory Lanez has his own story as well. I heard that, it was accidental. That was thrown around too. Nevertheless, I do want to just come through and just give my thoughts on this situation, because it seemed like there's some funny business going on here. Like, I don't want this to be true, but I think it is true. I do think somehow, some way, something happened that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion for some reason. He may not have been trying to shoot her to kill her. Perhaps maybe it was accidental. I don't know, but I'm going to assume that this was on purpose, at least for the moment. But again, this is all alleged so far. For legal reasons, this is alleged. But I just want to come through also and just tell you, just give you the rundown on how this is all going to play out in the black community, if this isn't indeed true. All right. Let me just give you a breakdown. All right. So what's going to happen is Megan will be blamed in some way for bringing it on herself. Somehow, some way. While Tory will not be directly blamed. He will be more so defended, coddled, and not held accountable for much of anything. Somehow, some way, he'll end up eluding accountability and responsibility in the black community. Right? It's going to be all put on Megan. At this point, it's going to turn into victim blaming. And, folks, especially when black women are the victim in the black community, it will definitely turn into victim blaming. Now, we seen August Alsina with that situation with Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah. Now, again, if August Alsina was Aisha Alsina, then I don't think folks would be seeing August as a victim. There's a lot of calling going on in that case too, and a lot of people, saying that, he was taken advantage of, even though he was 21 years of age. He was taken advantage of at 21, but R. Kelly's victims as teenagers, well, they were just fast-ass girls who knew what the fuck they were doing. Right. You see how crazy and messed up the community is? Then we coming through Black Lives Matter. Man, if y'all don't shut the fuck up. But back to this story, though. So, if Megan can't be blamed, if she just happens to be the perfect victim, which she probably is not, that's probably not going to happen. But if it does happen, then the situation will be swept under the rug. All right. And really, it's already happening as we speak, right? Even folks on via social media are chiming in. And, there are people who are supporting Megan, definitely. But there's also people who are, low-key blaming Megan for it and saying that, this is what happens, right? You shouldn't have been hanging around him, right? And I do think that Megan does hold some culpability. Some, I won't blame her for everything, right? But, she does hold some culpability, you know, and, it's a lesson for her as well. I think that this may be, you know, the Lord's way of sending her a message to be more mindful and cognizant of the company that you keep, you know. And, thank God Megan survived, because she could have easily lost her life in this situation and lost her life behind this bullshit. And we could just be saying, rest in peace, Megan, and especially, at this point too in her life when things are really starting to pop off for her, just to get, cut down in the prime when, things are really starting to take off in your life, when your life story is really starting to get extremely interesting, you know? Um, so thankfully, thank God, that Megan was able to survive this. Hopefully she will be able to make a full recovery from this. But Megan, she does have a history of being a predator protector, perhaps is the phrase, or, protecting the victimizer, right? And she spoke about this in some sort of live stream she did. I don't know when exactly, but I did see a clip of it where her boyfriend had got another woman pregnant. She didn't find out about it until sometime after the baby was delivered, and her and her boyfriend was fighting in the car or whatever. The police saw that she was being the aggressor in the case, and the police was questioning her, even though she was kind of, disheveled herself. But she was saying like, oh, her boyfriend didn't hit her. However, when her boyfriend was questioned by the cops, did she hit him? He said yes, and he went into details about it, and he got real dramatic about it. And then I think it ended up being that Megan got arrested. Ain't that some shit? Well, ain't that some shit? But it looks like a similar situation may be playing out again, except this time it's more severe, where she is protecting a person who victimized her. Because maybe she doesn't want to be seen as a snitch. Maybe she doesn't want to get vilified, especially by the black community, by both black men and black women, for bringing a brother down. You know how that goes. And then she did post something on her Twitter, or I believe Twitter, could have been Instagram, some social media platform, saying something to the effect of empowering black women and black women being unprotected and things like that. I'm going to read it. So she said via Twitter, black women are so unprotected, and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own. It might be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about. But this is my real life, and I'm real life hurt and traumatized. That's all she said about as far as like black women being unprotected and things like that. And she did mention black women specifically, not just women, but black women. And I do think there is some truth in that. I don't think we really want to admit it as a community, because I think we'll just put the blame on black women somehow. Well, she brought it on herself. Somehow, some way, she brought it on herself. She doesn't deserve protection. She likes thugs. She likes gangbangers. She a gold digger. And I'm not saying that those things are not to be taken into account, but there's other factors at play too that's not being taken into account. But, looks like, Megan's had, a brush with some harsh reality. Again, thankfully she is able to be a survivor. Thankfully she survived. How this all will play out in the future, I don't know. Will Megan be willing to take the stand against her victimizer? you know, the predator in this case? Will she be able to testify? Or will she cave in and not cooperate with the police and the DA and let whoever did it go free? Hint, hint, Tory Lanez, allegedly. I don't know. Because a lot of times folks come through talking about black women unprotected. Black women need protection. Oh, we black people, we gotta stick together, and all this rah 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 sis boom bah shit. But then when it really comes down to actually doing some shit about it, everybody MIA all of a sudden. You can't find them for shit. They got 1,001 excuses after that, right? And again, both black men and black women will participate in this. This will be done by both black men and black women. And don't let the mainstream media get involved. Then the black community will definitely be caping strong for Tory Lanez, all right? Because then it's going to turn into, oh, the media trying to take down the brother. The media trying to hold down the black man. The media trying to vilify the black man. You know how white supremacy is. Then we got to come together and protect the black man and the black man's image while the black woman just falls by the wayside. We've seen it play out many a time. Heck, just like with Rihanna and Chris Brown, it kind of played out similar to that. That was like a similar play out. And then, Megan, she mentioned in her Twitter post that people were, making fun and making light of this too. One of those people were 50 Cent, or was 50 Cent. He came through posting memes, making fun of the situation, making jokes about the situation, And again, I don't know if 50 Cent was saying Black Lives Matter, but he probably was, talking about police brutality against George Floyd and other black people, probably black men primarily, right? And we got to come together. We got to come through, right? And, the black woman, folks was uplifting the black woman's image, the phenotypically black woman's image, the brown skin, dark skin black woman's image not too long ago when those women were coming through on some social justice warrior shit, protesting and protecting, trying to protect, the black men or black men's image and things like that, right? But again, all of it is pretty much noise, and it's just it sounds nice, but when it comes to actually being about that life, folks ain't really about that life, especially in the black community. Folks ain't really about that life. It just sounds nice, to say it so they can sound and give themselves a pat on the back, pat on the back and be like, yes, I'm pro-black, I supported a black queen today. I told a black queen that she was a black queen. Pat myself on the back. Where my cookie at? Where my parade at? Where my Nobel Peace Prize at? I gave a black woman a compliment. Sure did. So, yeah. So we got 50 Cent making memes and making fun and making light of the situation as well. People, ha and he and in the comment section of it about it too. Were people ha and he and when George Floyd got caught up, or people ha and he and when Ahmaud Arbery got caught up? No. But when Sandra Bland got caught up, like, oh, yeah, that's what happens when you got all that mouth, all that attitude, that black woman attitude you got. Even though it's like, well, where do you think the black woman attitude came from, though? She just came out the womb with the black woman attitude, or did she come through, deal with some bullshit? And again, But again, I thought Black Lives mattered, right? And I hope y'all were keeping receipts during, the George Floyd Black Lives Matter protest and, all these celebrities coming through, right? I hope y'all was keeping receipts. We're going to see, do these same men who were going hard in the paint for George Floyd, as well as the women too, black women too. Will that be extended to Megan Thee Stallion, especially at the expense of a black man, Tory Lanez, allegedly? We'll see, right? But yeah, we're really seeing who is really prioritized in the black community, and who is just thrown to the wayside. All right. And also, Kylie Jenner, someone who she was hanging out with, right? I heard, via the media, that she posted a picture of her foot with a pedicure right after this situation happened. And she was hanging out with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, by the way. Like the night that happened. Right? So, Megan Thee Stallion, owes Kylie Jenner the uppercut as well. She need to uppercut Tory Lanez's ass too. But yeah, as I said earlier in this video, thank the Lord Megan survived. Because she could have lost her life behind this bullshit. We could have been saying rest in peace Megan Thee Stallion, and then we'll be acting like, oh, we should have did more to protect our sisters. Protect our black queens. Our black queens are so unprotected. Our sisters, all right? They are mothers. They are sisters. They are aunties. Our mothers. Then we doing all that carrying on, right? So, I personally think that this may have been like a message that God's trying to send her, saying, to be very aware and very cognizant and very selective of the company that you keep, Megan, because they could end up being your downfall, right? I mean, even in the Bible, like Jesus Christ himself, met his demise, like, his physical, demise, demise in the physical world, at least, partially because of someone who was in his company, So again, you do have to be careful about the people you let into your inner circle, and I don't know much about Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez's relationship. I don't know if they had a relationship, if they were just friends or if there was something more. I even heard some people coming through being like, oh yeah, Tory found out that Megan Thee Stallion was a tranny and he shot her. I'm like, really? Come on now. I mean, those rumors were going around about Sierra at one point too, and then there was rumors about Lady Gaga, and then rumors about that about Jamie Lee Curtis, right? But yeah, be prepared to hear that being thrown around on occasion too, all right? But I don't think that was the case. I just don't think that was the case. Yeah. And it looks like Megan Thee Stallion may kind of like the fast lane. She may like dudes that are a bit more on the, thug, gangbanger, hood nigga side maybe. But is Tory Lanez really a thug, gangbanger, hood nigga? Maybe that's why she wasn't wanting to have much to do with him. He was trying to be a bit more serious, and she was like, nah, nigga, you a square nigga. I was just using you for clout. Fuck you. And then he was like, oh, really? Pow. Again, that's just my own conjecture. That's something that could possibly have played out, right? But yeah, it looks like, Megan might be into a specific type of dude, and that does come with some things, And it is her preference. It is her choice. You know, but you got to be careful about that. You know, if you about that life, you got to be about that life all the way down to the T. You know. And as well, some people mentioned that, you know, Megan also recently lost both her mom and her grandmother as well. So she might not have the best guidance at the moment. That is a factor as well. And she may be using kind of like the fast lane, quote unquote, to sort of kind of like deal with her emotions as far as like losing her mother and her grandmother in more or less the same period of time, you know. And as well, you know, I'm sure Megan the Stallion is traumatized by this situation. If someone really did shoot her, I'm pretty sure that is traumatizing. She may be suffering or may start to suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome, you know. That may be something that she has to deal with as well later down the road if she's not already dealing with it now, you know. And again, like Megan, she's like only 25 years old. She may seem a little bit older, you know, because of how she looks, but she's like, you know, 25 years old, out of the way. So, you know, she's still going through some things. She's still experiencing, you know, going through life's experiences and things like that as well. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, mental health issues, you know, just in general in society, but especially in the Black community, it's just, you know, things that we tend to kind of like overlook and not really speak about as much, you know, but hopefully Megan is able to make a full recovery from this physically, and hopefully as well she's able to make a full recovery from this mentally as well, you know, even if she may have to seek out some help one way or another. You know, hopefully she's wise enough if she needs help mentally to find some way to help herself mentally or to get help mentally. Um, and hopefully she doesn't cave into the stereotype that she got to be a strong Black woman. Because the community hyping her up to be a strong Black woman, so she got to be that, right? She got to live up to the stereotype, right? Because then if she ain't, then folks gonna come at her talking about she weak, right? Mm. And by the way, a bit off topic, but Megan Thee Stallion, they say that she's about 5'10", and they say that Tory Lanez is about 5'3", you know. And some people are speculating that, oh, again, with the relationship going wrong situation, you know. Like, oh, some short man complex. I don't know. Again, this is all alleged. It's just what people been throwing out here, right? But, you know, I'm going to bring this video to a close, but I just wanted to come through and just share my thoughts about the situation. You know, I really hope um, hope Megan recovers. I hope she's able to make a full recovery physically as well as mentally. I hope that she is able to put this situation behind her. Hopefully this won't end up getting her blackballed if she were to just tell the truth, you know, whatever the truth may be. But again, time will tell. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.